My name is Gemma, and 3 years ago, I married Randall. I thought he was my person, but what happened last week at a baby shower completely shattered my reality and exposed a level of cruelty I never thought possible. I honestly don't even know where to begin, but I just have to get this out of my head. The longer I dwell on it, the more I feel like I'm losing my grip. I've been wide awake since 3 in the morning, replaying every single word, every smirk, every hateful laugh. And I'm still caught between an overwhelming urge to scream at the top of my lungs and just wanting to disappear from the face of the earth. Randall and I met in the most ridiculous way. Honestly, not at work, not through friends, but trapped in an elevator at an escape room. Picture this: 40 minutes of awkward silence, terrible jokes, and me desperately needing to pee. I guess that pretty much set the tone for our marriage. Awkward, a bit weird, too much time in close quarters, and not a lot of actual romance. I've always been a bit of an introvert with a small circle of trusted friends and a family that's around, but not super close. We text, we do holidays, you get it. Randall, on the other hand, comes from a colossal family. When I say colossal, I mean I still can't remember half their names. Every family gathering is a crowd, a sea of faces, and it always comes with this running joke about me. They call me the outsider, the serious one, or my personal favorite, the one with opinions. At first, I try to brush it off, just family ribbing, right? Not my style, but I could handle it. But lately, it's become sharper, more pointed. I couldn't tell if I was just being overly sensitive or if their jabs were genuinely getting meaner. Either way, it stopped being fun, if it ever truly was. So, the stage was set for the main event. Randall's cousin, Ariana, was having her first baby, and that meant a baby shower at his mom's house. If you've ever been to one of these, you know it's not cute games and pink cupcakes. It's more like a cheese and cracker convention where everyone pretends to care about diaper brands. The moment Randall and I walked in, I felt it. That heavy, weird vibe. People were too loud, but also watching me. It's like being the only one not in on a joke, and it's a miserable feeling. I try to just melt into the background, scroll through TikTok, chat with Ariana. She's genuinely lovely and completely innocent in all this. But then, inevitably, Randall's sister, Reagan, arrived. She's like the self-proclaimed protagonist of her own life story. Seltzer in hand, she swooped in, already launching into her usual routine. "Gemma, have you mastered Grandma's pasta salad yet? Oh, your shoes are brave." They were Doc Martens, by the way. Just classic Reagan. I forced a fake laugh, retreating to a corner near the window, tried to escape the stifling heat and the suffocating presence of all those bodies. Then, out of nowhere, one of Randall's aunts, a loud one, I can't even remember which, piped up with that saccharine-sweet, too bright voice. "So, when are you two going to have a baby?" I swear to God, the entire room went silent. My blood ran cold. I hate these questions. Randall knows this. He knows I never want to discuss it in front of a crowd. He knows it's a deeply sensitive topic for me. We've talked about it. I'm not even sure I want kids, and if I do, it's a maybe someday, not right now kind of conversation, especially when we're still figuring things out. He always claimed to be on the same page, but then he'd make these weird comments about being too young to be a dad. He's 33, not a child. So I just shrugged, trying to be casual, and said, "Oh, we're not in a rush." But Randall, I don't know if it was the attention, if he'd had too much to drink, or if he just felt like being utterly cruel. He let out this loud, sharp, almost barking laugh. And then he said it. "With her, I'd rather stay childless than raise kids with that kind of negativity." My breath hitched. People actually laughed. Not polite chuckles, but genuine, rolling laughter, as if he'd just delivered the most hysterical punchline of the century. Reagan, never one to miss an opportunity to jump in, added she'd probably give birth to complaints and breastfeed them drama. Another stunned pause, then more laughter. I just stood there completely exposed. What was I supposed to do? I looked at Randall, and he was grinning, not at me, but at the room, soaking in the attention. My voice came out flat, quiet, but firm. "You're not funny." He gave me this infuriating smirk and drawled, "Relax. You're always so sensitive. No wonder I don't want kids with you. I swear to you, I've never wanted to slap someone so badly in my life." I didn't, though. Just clenched my fists, shaking, and stared him down. Reagan was still cackling. Someone else muttered something dismissive about women these days. I don't even remember what I was thinking. I just knew I needed out. I started walking towards the hallway, planning to get some air, maybe call my sister. But Randall grabbed my arm hard. Not abusive, but definitely too firm, like he was trying to stop me from making a scene. "Where are you going?" he hissed. "Don't ruin this for everyone." I pulled away, my voice icy, not caring who heard. "Touch me again, and I will." He let go, but his hand lingered for a second too long. As I left the room, I heard his mom's voice, hushed but sharp, meant to be unheard by me. "Control your wife." I paused, turned back, and made eye contact with her, but I didn't say a word. I just kept walking. Reagan tried to block me in the hallway, all fake concern. "Oh, come on, Gemma. It was just a joke." I didn't even answer. I just pushed past her, knocking over a little tray of party favors. She gasped as if I'd pulled a weapon, but I kept going. At the front door, another one of Randall's aunts. Honestly, they all look the same when you're this enraged. Try to grab my arm. "Don't," I warned, my voice low and dangerous. "Just don't." I yanked the door open and slammed it shut behind me. I could hear Randall's voice raised inside, half apologizing, half blaming me, but I didn't care. I got into his car and just sat there, shaking, for a solid minute. My mind was reeling, trying to process the sheer audacity of what had just happened. Before I tell you about the absolute digital circus that erupted next, if you're still with me on this wild ride, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me share more of these unbelievable and sometimes heartbreaking personal stories with you. I texted my friend, Meline. Yes, I have a friend named Meline and a sister named Meline. Confusing, I know, sorry. And she immediately asked if I wanted to come over. So I drove to her place and spent the next 2 hours in her kitchen, eating leftover pizza and talking about anything but what had just happened. My phone kept buzzing with group chat notifications. Randall's name, Reagan's name, his mom's. I just turned it off and shoved it deep into my bag. I didn't go home that night. I shot a quick text to my own. "Mom," so she wouldn't worry. Her reply came in the morning, and it told me everything. She wasn't surprised. That alone should tell you something about how these family jokes had been going. The whole time, I kept thinking, what the hell did I just witness? I knew Randall could be a jerk, but this was next level. He likes to be funny, or thinks he is, but this wasn't teasing. This was mean, and it wasn't just him. Everyone else either joined in, or let it happen, or watched like it was a show. Was I supposed to just laugh this off? I didn't think I could. I kept replaying the way he grabbed my arm. His mom's cold demand, "Control your wife." The way Reagan tried to physically block me from leaving, like I was some disobedient pet. It all felt deliberate, like they wanted to see if I'd finally break. I think Randall acts this way because he's embarrassed that I don't worship his family the way everyone else does. He gets defensive whenever I point out something that's weird or mean. He's told me before that I make things awkward because I won't just play along. He loves being the funny guy, the golden child, especially for his mom. And Reagan? I think she just hates that I don't laugh at her jokes, or that I don't neatly fit into the little box she's created for the wife of the family. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze them, but why else would someone act like that, except that they're used to getting away with it? I spent the rest of that night at Meline's. When I woke up, my phone was a disaster. 30 unread messages in the family group chat. Missed calls from Randall. I didn't answer. His mom had even texted my mom, apparently, because my mom forwarded me a message about how disappointed she was in me for causing a scene. But no one, not a single one of them, seemed to care that he had publicly humiliated me. They didn't even see it as a big deal. I was just supposed to let it go, I guess, because that's what a good wife does. I hadn't decided what my next move was, but one thing was crystal clear. I was not going to roll over. I was not the one who needed to apologize. I was done pretending this was normal. I was still furious. I wasn't going home, and Randall was going to have to find his own ride back from his mom's house. I didn't care if he had an Uber. I was going to update everyone when I figured out my next step, but honestly, if I didn't write this all down, I was going to lose it. The next morning, my phone was absolutely blowing up before I even opened my eyes. Notifications from the group chat, Randall's icon, Reagan's, his mom's, even Ariana's. Before I'd even brushed my teeth, I felt that familiar dread, like walking into a meeting where everyone's mad at you, but no one will say why. I opened the main family group chat. They call it the Fam Jam, which makes me cringe every single time. And it was quite literally a roast session. It started with Randall asking if anyone had heard from me. Then his mom jumped in with a passive-aggressive question about whether I was feeling better and how everyone was very concerned. But it got worse. Reagan posted a meme, a cat with drama queen, in huge letters. Seriously, peak comedy. Then it devolved into this bizarre debate. Some people claimed I overreacted. Others were like, it was just a joke. Why did she storm out? A couple of people, thank you, Ariana, tried to calm things down, but it was like talking to a brick wall. Randall's aunt, the one who brings up her gluten allergy, like it a personality trait, chimed in about some people just not being able to handle family traditions. That's when I actually started to feel sick. How is public humiliation a tradition? Was I truly missing something here? I scrolled back and saw Randall's mom had texted my mom separately. My mom, being my mom, forwarded it to me. The message read something like, maybe you can talk some sense into Gemma. She's upsetting everyone, and it's not good for the family. My mom's reply was a simple, I'll check in with her. So, no real help there. Then, because the universe is hilarious, my own family group chat lit up. My mom, bless her heart, tried to play peacekeeper, suggesting I come home for dinner and talk things through. My dad sent a thumbs up emoji and nothing else, which is just classic him. But my sister, Meline, again, different Meline, my actual sister, went rogue. She started sending me TikToks about toxic in-laws, then just texted, you should go full scorched earth. I almost laughed, the closest I'd come to smiling since the baby shower. I told my mom I wasn't ready to talk to Randall. She said she understood, but I could tell she thought I should just let it go or smooth things over. She's always been that way. Avoid conflict, don't make waves. But my sister was like, you better not cave on this. I was honestly so glad she had my back, even if her revenge plots were a little over the top. Then, the next weird thing, Randall tried calling. I let go to voicemail. He texted saying I was making things worse and I should just apologize so everyone can move on. I literally laughed out loud. I was making things worse. I was the one who made a joke out of my partner in front of a room full of people. It was absolutely wild. I started typing a reply, but deleted it 3 times. I couldn't figure out how to say what I wanted without sounding just as petty as them. Honestly, I didn't even know what I wanted from him at that point. An apology? For him to actually get it just once? I wasn't holding my breath. Then Reagan started up again in the group chat, another meme. This time, a stock photo of a woman rolling her eyes with "Here comes the drama" in Comic Sans. I wanted to throw my phone. Instead, I just muted the chat and went for a walk in Meline's neighborhood. It was freezing, but it helped clear my head. I called my friend and ranted for a solid 10 minutes. She just listened, then asked, do you want to stay another night? I said yes. When I got back, there was another wave of messages. Now Randall was trying to DM me separately, saying he didn't mean it, but also that I know how his family is and shouldn't take things so personally. He said, if I just come home, we can talk it out. I texted back, you embarrassed me on purpose. He left me on read. Then, out of nowhere, Reagan screenshotted our DM conversation and posted it in the Fam Jam. She added, wow, someone's off their meds. Ariana immediately texted me a screenshot of that, saying, I'm so sorry. This is so out of line. I actually saw red. I'm not even on meds, but even if I was, what the hell? I texted Reagan directly. Delete that now, or I will make sure everyone knows exactly what you said about your mom at Christmas. She deleted it. I didn't say anything else. I just wanted her to know I wasn't playing nice anymore. After that, Randall's mom tried to call me. I let it ring. She left a voicemail. Gemma, you need to stop causing drama. This isn't how we handle things in this family. I didn't even listen to the rest. I decided screw it. I wasn't hiding. I posted directly in the family group chat. I'm not your clown. I'm not here for your entertainment, and I'm not putting up with the jokes anymore. If any of you want to talk to me like adults, I'm here. If not, leave me alone. I typed it out, reread it, and hit send before I could overthink it. The immediate reaction? Silence. For like 5 whole minutes. Then Randall's aunt chimed in with, "See, this is what I mean about outsiders not understanding." I left it. I wasn't going to argue with someone who thinks cruelty is a tradition. Later that night, Randall actually showed up at Meline's apartment. I still don't know how he found the address, but I guess he checked my location on Find My iPhone, a mistake I clearly needed to fix. Meline opened the door, arms crossed, a silent guardian. Randall tried to play the wounded husband. "Can we please just talk?" I said, "Not here." He said, "You can't keep avoiding me forever." I replied, "Watch me." He tried to step inside, but Meline blocked him. "You're making this worse, Gemma," he accused. "You already did that," I shot back. "You're my wife. You have to talk to me," he insisted. "Not tonight." He started getting louder, so Meline, bless her, simply told him to leave or she'd call the building manager. He slammed the door as he left. I thanked her. She just looked at me, serious. "You're not staying married to that guy, right?" I just said, "I don't know." My mom called again, worried. She thought I should come home and get some space. My dad got on the phone for 2 seconds, just to say, "If he shows up here, I'll handle it." I actually felt a little better after that. The next day, Randall's mom tried to get my mom involved again, like I was a teenager who needed to be disciplined. But my mom, surprisingly, stood firm. Gemma's an adult. She'll decide what she wants to do. I was shocked. I didn't know she had it in her. But still, no one from Randall's side actually apologized. They just wanted me to stop making a scene. That night, I called my sister and vented for what felt like hours. She said, "You know they're never going to change, right? You have to decide if you want to live with this forever." I said I didn't. She said, "Then don't." It's not that easy, but I knew she was right. By now, I'd packed a bag and moved back in with my parents for a bit. Randall kept texting. He missed me, but also I owed his family an apology. I didn't reply. He tried calling. He emailed me, saying he just wanted things back to normal. I deleted it. I kept thinking about why Randall acted like this. Was it just his family? Was it me? I don't think he actually hates me. I think he's just terrified of not fitting in with his family, scared of being seen as whipped or whatever. He told me before that his mom always rides him if he doesn't keep things under control. So, I guess he got points for handling me. It's all just so childish. I started seeing little things differently now. The way his family always closed ranks when someone called them out. How Randall always wanted to be the funny guy, no matter who he threw under the bus. I'd always hoped he'd grow out of it. Now, I wasn't so sure. I wasn't sure what my next move was, but I knew I wasn't going back to the way things were. I wasn't going to be the family punching bag. I wasn't apologizing for standing up for myself. And if Randall wanted to pick his family over me, then fine, he could have them. I had my own people, even if they were a little messy and sometimes too honest. So, yeah, that's where things were. I was at my parents' house. My mom was making too much food. My sister was sending me memes about girl boss revenge. And Randall was blowing up my phone from random numbers. I didn't know how this would end, but I wasn't just rolling over. It had been a few days since I basically dropped off the face of the earth as far as Randall's family was concerned. My mom kept making soup, treating me like I was 12. My dad mostly stayed out of it, except for one time he grunted something like, "You don't deserve that," which for him is like a whole speech. My sister was living for the drama, but also texting me every day to make sure I wasn't backing down. At one point, I started to doubt myself, thinking maybe I was being dramatic. But then I reread the group chat memes, the DMs, and just, no. Anyway, yesterday afternoon, Randall's mom texted me. She was inviting me to a family dinner at their favorite place, the one with the wobbly chairs and the breadsticks everyone fights over. She said it was to clear the air and move past this unfortunate drama. I almost laughed because it was so on brand. Invite me somewhere public so I can't cause a scene. I show my mom a text, and she said, maybe it's a chance to get some closure. My dad just went, "Do what you want, but don't let them talk you into anything." For about 2 hours, I debated going. Part of me just wanted to never see these people again. But then I remembered the way Randall tried to handle me at the baby shower, and his mom telling him to control your wife. And honestly, I just got mad all over again. So I texted my sister, Meline, "Want to come to a weird family dinner as my emotional support human?" She replied with just the skull emoji and hell yes. So that settled it. We drove over together, Meline blasting music. I was scrolling through my notes app, rereading all the things I want to say if I got the chance. I almost chickened out and deleted it, but Meline grabbed my phone. "Don't let them gaslight you into thinking you're the problem," she said. She was right. We got to the restaurant, and the hostess gave us that look. "Oh, you're with that group." The whole family was there. Randall, his mom and dad, Reagan, of course, 2 aunts, an uncle, even Ariana, who just looked exhausted. Everyone was pretending to be chill, but it was as fake as their smiles. Randall stood up like he was going to hug me, but I just nodded and took a seat at the end of the table. Meline sat right next to me, arms crossed, staring everyone down like a bodyguard. The energy was so weird, like they were all waiting for me to apologize. They started with stiff, small talk. Randall's dad rambled about his car. Someone brought up the weather. I just ran my finger along the menu, nodding every so often. No one mentioned the baby shower, but I could feel it, hanging in the air like a thick fog. Everyone was just waiting for the main event. Reagan, who for some reason had decided to wear sunglasses indoors, kept whispering to her aunt and looking at me. Finally, after the server dropped off drinks, Randall's mom cleared her throat. "So, I think we all know why we're here," she began, her voice falsely sweet. "I like to move forward, but we can't do that if people keep holding grudges." She looked right at me, then at Randall, then back at me. "It would be helpful if everyone could apologize for their part in this, so we can all put it behind us." I almost spit out my water. Randall jumped in. "We all said some things, but I think you overreacted, Gemma. I just want things to go back to normal." Reagan snorted and muttered, "Some people don't even know what normal is." I looked at Meline, and she just raised an eyebrow, waiting. For a second, I almost just let it go. I almost said nothing, because that's what I'd always done, but this time I was too pissed. So, I pulled out my phone and opened my notes. "Actually," I said, my voice calm, clear, "I have a list." Randall's mom looked confused. Reagan rolled her eyes. I started reading. "Starting from the first time I met you guys, here are a few things you've all said to me, just so we're clear about what's a joke and what's actually mean." I read off Reagan's pasta salad comment. The time Randall's mom said I'd never fit in until I wore a dress like hers. The group chat memes, the drama queen stuff, even Randall's comment about not wanting kids with negativity. I didn't yell. I just read. The table went utterly silent. I mean, really quiet, except for one aunt who kept sipping her wine, eyes wide. Randall interrupted, sounding desperate. "Okay, but we're just joking, right? We don't mean it." I looked him dead in the eye. "You laughed at me. Not with me. You made me the punchline for your own entertainment, and you didn't care if it hurt me." Reagan shrieked, "Oh my God, are we really doing this?" "Yeah," I said. "We are." Then I looked right at Randall. "You want to talk about normal? How about the fact that you told me last month you didn't want kids because you couldn't risk me turning them against you? How about how you said you're not ready to be tied down, but you were ready to use me as a prop for your family jokes?" My voice finally cracked with emotion. "I'm done being your shield. If you want to keep playing the golden child, you can do it without me." Randall's face went scarlet. He tried to cut me off. "Why are you saying this here?" "Because every time I try to talk to you in private, you act like it's not a big deal," I retorted. "So now you can deal with it in front of everyone, just like you humiliated me in front of everyone else." Reagan started to stand up. "You don't get to come in here and act like you're the victim, Gemma." I met her glare. "Then stop acting like I'm the villain just because I won't laugh at your jokes." She started to move around the table towards me, but Meline, ever the protector, stood up too, blocking her path. Reagan muttered something about crazy, but Meline just told her to sit down. Randall's mom, her voice tight with anger, declared, "This is enough. You're tearing this family apart." I scoffed. "No, you are by refusing to see what's right in front of you. You want respect, but you don't give any. If you want me to apologize for leaving after being insulted, it's not happening. I'm not sorry for refusing to be treated like garbage." I reached into my bag and pulled out an envelope. I slid it across the table to Randall. He looked at it, confused. "Those are divorce papers," I said, my voice steady, despite the tremor in my hands. "I just need you to sign." The silence that followed was deafening. Reagan actually gasped. Randall's mom sputtered, "You can't be serious." "I'm done," I said, standing up. And I'm not changing my mind. Randall tried to grab my arm as I rose, but I shook him off, a sharp, "Don't touch me," escaping my lips. He stood up, his voice rising in anger. "You're throwing everything away over some jokes." "No," I countered, looking him straight in the eye. "I'm throwing it away because you don't respect me, and neither does your family." Reagan slammed her hand on the table. "You're just jealous because you're not one of us." I laughed, a real, genuine laugh for the first time in days. Thank God for that. Melanie put a comforting hand on my shoulder. We turned to leave. Randall followed us into the lobby, pleading, "Let's just talk. We can fix this. You don't have to do this." I stopped, turned around, and delivered my final words to him. "You had every chance to fix it. You chose to embarrass me instead. Now it's your turn." As Melanie opened the door for me, Randall shouted after me, "You'll regret this, Gemma." I didn't even turn around. We walked out together. I didn't know what was going to happen next, but I knew I wasn't backing down. I gave them every chance to treat me like a person, and they failed every single time. Now it was my turn to walk away. I was tired. I really thought after that dinner, everything would just be done. But seriously, nothing is ever just done when it comes to Randall's family. I've been sitting on this update for a few days because every time I think the dust has settled, someone finds a new way to be weird or petty. So, here's the final mess as promised. It's long, and probably not the clean ending some people want, but that's just life. After the restaurant showdown, I honestly thought Randall would just get the hint. He didn't. The man is nothing if not persistent, in that extremely annoying way where you realize this is exactly why he's always been the golden child. He just refuses to accept when he's not winning. The next morning, I woke up at my parents' house to about a dozen missed calls. Randall, his mom, Reagan, of course, and 3 random numbers I didn't even recognize. My dad was already up, making coffee, and just grunted when I came in, which was his way of asking if I was okay. I scrolled through the messages, literally all some version of, "Please talk to me," or "You didn't have to do that," or "Let's be reasonable." I muted my phone. My mom asked if I was okay. "Yeah, just tired," I said. She made waffles. My plan for that day was just to do nothing. But Randall's mom had other ideas. She texted my mom, basically saying I was destroying the family. Her words, not mine, and that Randall was so lost without me. Yeah, okay. She actually asked if my mom could talk some sense into me. My mom, to her credit, just said, "Gemma's an adult. She'll figure it out." I could tell she was completely over the drama at this point. The next day, I started the process of moving my stuff out. I texted Randall, telling him I'd be by with my dad to get my things. He said he'd be out. "Good," I replied. When we got there, nothing had been moved. My plants were dry, my mail was piled up on the counter, and there was a half-eaten pizza on the table. Classic Randall. I packed up my stuff. My dad hauled boxes. Neither of us talked much. When we were done, I left the spare key on the counter and slammed the door as we left. Later, Randall texted, "You could have at least said goodbye." I didn't reply. I kept expecting Randall to try something big and dramatic, but honestly, he just sort of fizzled out. A couple of days went by, nothing. Then, I got a message from his mom. It was 3 pages of her telling me I never understood family, and that marriage is about forgiveness. She said, "I'm tearing Randall apart." I took a picture, sent it to my sister. She replied, "Frame it as a warning." Meanwhile, my own family was amazing. My dad said I could stay as long as I wanted. My mom was just happy I was eating her food. My sister kept sending me links to apartments. The only real awkwardness was with a couple of mutual friends. One of Randall's buddies texted me, "Are you serious about this?" "Yeah," I said. He replied, "Wow, didn't think you'd actually go through with it." I didn't even know what to say to that, so I just left him on read. Another friend asked if I wanted to talk about it, but I just said, "I'm good, thanks." People always act like they want the tea, but really they just want to know which side to pick. The apartment search was not fun, to be honest. I'd forgotten how annoying it is to move. Every place was either too small, too expensive, or just smelled weird. I finally found one I liked, but it had a 2-week wait, so I was still at my parents'. My mom kept asking if I wanted to invite anyone over for dinner, like she was trying to make up for the last decade of not having family meals. My dad fixed a leaky faucet in the kitchen and joked that at least I wasn't married to the plumbing. About 4 days after the dinner, I got a text from Ariana. Reagan is telling people you attacked her at the restaurant. I laughed out loud. I texted back, she wishes. Ariana said, I told her to grow up. Thanks, I replied. You're the only normal one. Then finally, exactly a week to the day after the baby shower, Randall texted me from a random number. I was picking up groceries for my mom, scrolling through my phone in the parking lot, and there it was, please talk to me. I was just joking. I didn't even get mad. I just screenshotted it, sent it to my sister and Meline. Meline replied, he's really still on that. My sister's advice, send him a clown emoji. I thought about ignoring it, but honestly, I wanted to make it crystal clear. So, I replied, so was I. I was just pretending to be your wife. I didn't get a reply. I blocked the number. Randall never showed up at my parents' house, which was honestly a relief. I heard from a mutual friend that he's crashing at his mom's for now, and apparently she's not exactly thrilled about it. I guess the golden child treatment has its limits. I don't really care what happens with him. I just want to get into my new place, get my plans back in order, and go back to being boring. The only drama left was the paperwork. I filed the papers myself, paid the stupid fee, and got the confirmation email. I told my mom. She hugged me longer than usual. My sister made a cake that said, congratulations on your divorce, in pink icing. I laughed so hard I almost dropped it. Randall will probably always think he's the victim. His mom will probably keep telling people I was difficult. And Reagan will keep posting memes until the day she dies. But honestly, I don't care. I stood up for myself. I got out. Thanks to everyone who actually read these long rants and didn't tell me to just be the bigger person. Sometimes you just gotta be done. Anyway, I'm off to water my sad plants, eat divorce cake, and maybe scroll through apartments until I find one that doesn't have weird carpet or neighbors who play the recorder at midnight. So, I'm curious, to those of you who've made it this far, have you ever had to draw a hard line with family or a partner who constantly put you down? What gave you the strength to stand up for yourself, or even walk away? Let me know your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd really